Welcome into the Cowboys Report. Time for some live Q&A. Use hashtag Cowboys or be like Jason and Super Chat to get on the show. He wants me to summarize the latest NFL rule changes. Well, thank you, Jason. We'll break that down here for you. For starters, the 4th and 15 onside kick rule did not pass. Not surprised. The NFL hates change. One thing that they've now made permanent is the automatic replay of scoring and turnovers and all of that. That's going to stay forever now until they vote to change it from the NFL's perspective if they choose to. They also expanded defenseless player protection on kick and punt return to have the ball but didn't get a chance to do anything. So really kind of some fair catch protection there. They're also getting rid of, you guys watch Belichick do this, right? Manipulate the clock using dead ball fouls outside of 2 minutes while the clock is running. That's been removed. That's going to stop. So Belichick's little rule quirk that actually ended up hurting him, no longer involved. And then this is more of a bylaw side of it, less on the field stuff. Instead of having 2 players who can return from IR now, it becomes 3 players per team that are designated to return from IR. You don't have to make that decision at the time. That's also out of the way. That's been out of the way for a year now. You are allowed up to 3 players who, if they're placed on IR, they can come back later in the season. From a light beast, how would Clowney on the Cowboys sound? Sounds fun, right? I am intrigued by that idea. The Cowboys haven't really shown much interest in it. I wish that they would. They don't want to spend the big money. They want to give Aldon Smith, Gregory, and Crawford, and the other young guys, Armstrong, Jackson, and Jelks, chances, and an eye too. So I like it, but it sounds unlikely at the moment. Super chat from Bijan Manzuri. Thank you, my man. Hashtag Cowboys. I'll be in boot camp during week 1 to 4. Well, thank you. And you should mail me the Cowboys score. I don't know what the boot camp rules are anymore. Are you able to watch? Because, watch the show. We'll break down the scores and the games for you, my man. So, best of luck, Bijan. DM me on Twitter. I know we follow each other. We'll see if we can't get something going there. So, that's at WhatGoingDowney. Maybe we can get something going on that front. But thank you for the super chat, man. I really do appreciate it. Reminder, 2 ways to do it. Hashtag Cowboys or be like Ethan Tyra and super chat. Cheeto, Lewis, and a second for Patrick Peterson. A lot of times you get pretty outlandish trade ideas. I don't mind it. I think that you're not, maybe not quite enough. I wonder if Arizona would want a first, but he's only got 1 year left on his deal. Cheetah Bay and Jordan Lewis in a second. I think that's kind of fair. Helps out Arizona with, you really only have, I think, 2 corners that are any good in Peterson and Byron Murphy. I don't know if they do it because I think they want to keep Peterson long term, but I think it's a pretty fair offer from the Cowboys. So I like that, Ethan. I'm just not convinced Arizona would still say yes. Let me know in the comment section who your favorite current Cowboys player is. Is it Dak Prescott? You guys are mad at him right now. You used to be mad at Zeke. You're mad at Jalen Smith right now because he didn't play that well. We're out on DeMarcus Lawrence. We're on board with Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper right now. I think now that those guys are at least locked in. Y'all want other players to play well. You want Jamal Adams. He's not there, at least not yet. So let me know in the comments your favorite Cowboys player. Now, regardless of who your favorite Cowboys player is, you're probably picking a big-time name, and we probably got some Cowboys jerseys on sale for you guys. Head over to chatsports.com/Cowboys jersey. That's chatsports.com/Cowboys jersey. They're on sale right now. You can get Zeke, you can get Dak, Amari Cooper, Jalen Smith. I think there's a Leighton Vander Esch one on there as well. Whole bunch of different players are on sale for a limited time only. That is chatsports.com/Cowboys jersey. One note on this. If you go to that link, you will see CeeDee Lamb jerseys on there. Those, of course, are not for sale right now. That will change at some point, or they're not on sale right now. That will change at some point, I'm sure. But for the time being, they are excluded from the sale. But you can still pre-order your CeeDee Lamb jersey if you so choose. From Brian Parson, I know they can't sign a long-term contract after July 15th, but does the tag also protect Dak from being traded during the year? Great question, Brian. It does not. Once Dak signs the tag, he is eligible to be traded, and that's why Dak hasn't signed it yet. because there really isn't much benefit to Dak signing the tag. All it does is give away some power. If he has on the tag, the Cowboys can't fine him if things get to a non-voluntary stage. So from that perspective, it doesn't prevent a trade. Now, the overall cost might make it a little bit tricky because not that many teams can take on that price tag right now. An extension lowers his cap hit. You trade for him, you have to pay him that $31+ million. That does limit some of your options versus a trade now versus a trade after that deadline passes. But Brian, thank you for that super chat. It was a very good question. Carlos Paredes, do you believe in the reports about Jamal Adams taking a hometown discount if traded to his preferred destination, the Cowboys? I don't really. And even if it's accurate, I think the more likely outcome is that Jamal Adams takes a discount in the sense that it's a very minimal one. It's not like you're going to get him from the $15 million highest paid safety to he's going to take a $10 million per year deal. I don't think you're going to save much in that hometown discount. Now, we know there are always Jamal Adams questions here on the show. That's why I put out a video on Wednesday. Everything you need to know about a potential Jamal Adams trade to the Cowboys, where things sit right now, the cost of a trade, an extension cost, look at how it impacts the cap, everything all in one video. So go check that out. It is on the channel right now. It's one of our most recent videos. Easy to find, and if you're watching on the live show, it's in the chat as well. From Drew H., who wins a Super Bowl first? Dak, Zeke, Hopkins, Wentz, Cook, Thomas. Who's Cook in this scenario? Dalvin Cook? I guess that could make some sense. I'm going to speak positivity into the universe. I'm going to go with Dak Prescott wins one first. I think you mean Michael Thomas, maybe? He actually has a pretty solid shot. I don't think the Vikings will win one. Wentz already missed his window because he got hurt for it. Hopkins, I don't trust Bill O'Brien, so I'm going to go with Dak/Zeke because I don't think either are leaving the Cowboys anytime soon. King J, Tony Pollard's impact on the offense next season. It's a great question. Kellen Moore really liked Tony Pollard. That was kind of like his guy in the draft, and he wants to be creative with him. I think the problem for Pollard is that you go through the list of top targets, and you've got, of course, Cooper and Gallup, and you got Zeke even. You got CeeDee Lamb now. You have Blake Jarwin still. All of a sudden, you're down to option number 6 in terms of who gets the football. So I don't think you're going to see a massive role for Tony Pollard in terms of volume, but I think he should get a couple of touches per game, get him involved creatively, and he'll make some plays for you. Another super chat, this time from Stephen Poe. Thank you, Stephen. Dontari Poe, 8 sacks here. I wonder if there's any relation there. I'm going to take the under, mostly because Dontari Poe is in his age 30 season, and he's never had 8 sacks before. Even in his Pro Bowl year, he had 6 sacks. So if I can get 4 out of my nose guard, I'm feeling pretty darn good. I just think 8 sacks is a little bit too much to expect out of Dontari Poe this season. Speaking of sacks, how many combined sacks for Randy Gregory and Aldon Smith? I love this question because some of you guys just get completely outlandish in there. So let me know what you guys think in the comments on the combined sacks for Gregory and Smith. We'll give some shout-outs here as well as these flow in. 2 from Troy, 8 from Steven, 4, 11, 10. 16 is in there. That's the new high from Rashard Lee. I see 10, 11, 12, 17 from Jacory. Different Bijan. This is Bijan LaFollette. If I mispronounced your name, I'm sorry. 22 is the new high. 10, someone said 69. Very nice. 18. If you can get 10, that's 5 per. You should feel really good about that if you are the Dallas Cowboys. From Bijan Manzuri, what's our chances of sweeping the East this year? I feel really good about sweeping the Redskins and Giants. I feel confident in that. The Eagles, though, I don't feel that confident in sweeping. Even if, let's just say I don't want to do the math here. You're probably looking at an 80% chance of sweeping the Giants and the Redskins combined. Eagles, you're probably looking at less than 50%. So that's very difficult to actually do. I'll put it below 25%. But if I go 5-1 in the NFC East, I'm feeling really good about my playoff chances. From America's team, will the Cowboys trade or sign Ryan Kerrigan if available? Seems like the Skins don't want him anymore. I would have interest. And if you're going to find a team that wants to do a Robert Quinn-esque deal, maybe it is Ryan Kerrigan. Coming off an injured, down-ish year, I think Kerrigan has been one of the more underrated edges in the NFL for a very long time. But he is expensive, even more so than Quinn was, and he'd cost more in a trade. So I'll monitor that, yes. I just don't think it's a guarantee he's actually going to be available. Let's talk comeback players here. Leighton Vander Esch versus Aldon Smith. Apologies to Jalen and Randy Gregory and all of that. Who is more likely to, let's say the Cowboys version of comeback player of the year? If you think it's Vander Esch, type LVE. If you think it's Aldon Smith, type AS. Of course, Vander Esch missed a lot of time last year with his neck injury. Wasn't the same guy who tried to come back from it in the middle of the season. Aldon Smith, meanwhile, hasn't played in years. Now, if Aldon can give you 6 or 7 sacks, that's going to be my vote. And that is within the range of outcomes of possibilities. But I think it's more likely, and I'll take the coward's way out here, that Vander Esch ends up being the comeback player of the year. And if you're the Cowboys, you had to pick one, you'd pick the younger Vander Esch as well, by the way. From a light beast again, which rookies do you think would surprise everyone this year and help us out a bunch? I mean, of course, there's been some big things from CeeDee Lamb and Trevon Diggs. I think that in terms of instant impact, Tyler Biadasz has the best chance and the best path to getting on the field early. If you want the surprise from me, I'm going to go with Reggie Robinson, my bad. I don't think he's going to start, which is why it would surprise me if he's able to get that role. From Bijan LaFollette, what is your confidence over the slot receiver? It's like the 5th time we've taken this question before. He's not the slot receiver. He is at best your number 4. Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb are your big 3 receivers. Those 3 will be the ones out there when you use 3 receiver sets. King J, how good can this defense be with the new scheme? Hopefully better, right? Because they weren't that good last year. Some of you will still try to tell me it was a top 10 defense. Let's not let our eyes totally lie to us here, guys. It wasn't. I know the points allowed might have been top 10. Deceptive. That defense did not play well last year, especially when they had to step up. So I'm aiming for average to above average. That is my goal in the end for the Cowboys. If I get that, I feel good about my playoff chances. From Alan Williams, if the Cowboys use the 3-4 defense, how will they use Aldon Smith at 287 pounds? Will the blitz only will be used in coverage? So I have a stupid question. First off, Alan, not a stupid question. I was going to say no such thing, but we've seen some before. It's a good question, and that 287 is heavier than what you normally see out of a 3-4 outside linebacker. But in terms of the role, the job those guys are going to play, if it is a 3-4 front, they're going to blitz. If you're dropping DeMarcus Lawrence or Aldon Smith or Randy Gregory into coverage, you've probably called a bad play. Or at least you're banking on a confusion hitting in the end. You're trying to not have those guys really have to cover players. So if you do see 3-4 looks, 287, it's still too light really to be a defensive end in terms of a 3-4 front. That's almost really a defensive tackle in a 4-3 scheme. He'll be an edge rusher in the end. That's why I try to use the edge designation a lot leading up to the NFL draft and through it. Their job is going to be to blitz. So, and I don't think he's going to play at 287, but I think he'll end up playing probably a little bit lighter. Regardless, I think he's going to be a pass rusher for the Cowboys in 2020, along with Tank and Dorrance Armstrong, Gregory if he comes back and whatever. They'll find ways to get those guys coming in off the edge. From Brian Parson, has Dak had any contact with CD since the draft? I don't know for certain. I know that there has been communication with Dak and like the Cowboys coaching staff and everything. Like they got the playbook to him. Mike McCarthy said that. I would assume that, yeah, Dak has messaged CeeDee Lamb and talked with CeeDee Lamb in some capacity. There, of course, haven't been like the official workouts or anything, but I think it's a very reasonable assumption that, yeah, Dak has communicated with his newest playmaker on offense. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.